How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. And today we are covering the best 7 hand traps that I've picked for you for the Ishizu format. So stick around for all of that, of course, and like the video, subscribe if you are new as always. And let's begin. I think that the next format is going to be very hard. I think that there aren't many hand traps that can actually be effective in this format, but I think that these 7 picks are like the best that you can ask for, especially if you're not playing Ishizu, because if you are playing Ishizu, you already have, I think, like, you have Kelbeck, you have Havness, you already have so many hand traps in your engine, but if you're not playing Ishizu, this is for you. So let's start off with our first hand trap. That's going to be Bestial Magnum, and this is obviously a proxy for all the Bestial cards. And I think that these will be my #1 pick. I'm playing branded Bestial, so I'm not really worried because they are in my engine already. But I think these are proving to be extremely powerful. So if you are maxing on these, it's also very good because you can sometimes actually open 2-3 different names and just shut down your opponent's entire combo. But even a few of these are just super impactful. They quick play banish, they prevent tier limits from popping off, and they bring you a body to the board. And this one searches as well. So I think that these are definitely the best hand traps right now, and you should definitely be picking this up. Unfortunately, this has gone up in price quite a lot, but hopefully it will come back down again. The next hand trap that we have here is Skullmeister. If you don't know what this card does, you discard it to the graveyard when your opponent activates an effect in the graveyard and negate that effect. The reason why Bell is not here and Skullmeister is simply because that, one, it's a dark, and I think this is a pro and a con together, because you put a dark monster in your graveyard and it's a target for Bestials. However, it's also a target for you if you are playing a strategy that relies on dark monsters in the graveyard. The second is that this effect is not once per turn. So if you are maxing out on this and open 2 of them against tier limits, you can shut down 2 effects. So they can chain block this card, similar to what they can do with Bell, but this card is not once per turn. So I think this is definitely the way to go in terms of graveyard prevention. And then we have Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. I think it's very simple. It's a monster negate, which is great. It's always good. I think Veiler, Imperm, also super valid as hand traps. Imperm is on this list, spoiler. But I think the effect that burns 4 life points is going to be super crucial in the next format. Wait, 95% of you are not subscribed? Come on, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe if you are new for more awesome content. So the reason why the burn effect is so important is because, as I mentioned in a previous video, the games, the matches or the games in the next format are going to be substantially longer, in my opinion, from what we've seen also in testing and gameplay on Dueling Book. So burning for damage, especially for big bodies, is crucial. So this can actually help you close out games and win in time. And the next hand trap we have is one that appeared on our side deck list, and it's Dimension Shifter. Not a lot to say here. It's a very destructive and disruptive hand trap. So I think if your deck can run it, and if you can run it in the main, if you're playing something like, of course, Flunderies, Exo Sisters are going to utilize this card, things like Pure Kashtara as well. If you can run it, run it. I mean, 100%, 3 copies, no doubt about that. The next one is going to be Ash Blossom. We haven't seen Ash Blossom in a while. There's a couple reasons why Ash Blossom is in here. One, it stops a lot of tier limits effects. And by tier limits effects, I mean Havness and Sheeran specifically. This can also stop the first effect of Kit Kalos. This can also stop things like Gigantic Sprite, Sprite Sprint, which is very good in Sprite at the moment. The combo line is kind of different now, that if you stop the Sprint, it kind of hurts your opponent if they don't have a follow-up to that. And this is basically all around good, and I think mainly because of Havness and Sheeran. However, you can still use this against a lot of other strategies, branded including. watch out, don't use it against me. But Ash Blossom, I think, is returning to form in the next format. And the next one is going to be Frame Gear Gamma. Again, not something that we've seen in the main deck recently, but I think so many effects are happening all the time. I think one good example I can give you for why Gamma is good. Gamma is, of course, amazing against sprites. We know that. Shut down the Gigantic, destroy it, might end their turn there. But another good thing that this card does is prevent things like Abyss Dweller. So if you are playing something like Ishizu and you get Dwellered in the draw phase, nope. So you just go Frame Gear Gamma and just destroy it and negate the effect. Another thing that it's good for is starting with power spells and protecting them with Gamma. So Sprite Starter, if it gets negated by something like Lurkaros, you negate it with Gamma, things like that. Of course, if you're using Branded Fusion as a branded player, there's a very high chance that if your opponent has a totally awesome, it will negate it. So this is why I think Gamma is solid in decks that can run it. And the last one is going to be, of course, Infinite Impermanence. I think there's not a lot to say about that. Offensive card, defensive card can be used on your turn, on your opponent's turn, can be set face down. Extremely effective against things like Kalos, and I think this is all around like the best utility hand trap that is just like super generic, negates an effect, and does the job really, really well in my opinion. So yeah, these are 7 hand traps that you should consider for the next format. Let me know down in the comments below, what are your favorite hand traps for the next format? What are you teching right now? What kind of spicy hand trap did you put in your deck for the upcoming Ishizu Magnificent Mavens format? And of course, leave a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.